Okay, so we are going to continue our discussion that we started, Fitness Beyond Body, which is about managing our mind and cleansing our intelligence. So I'll give a quick recap of where we left last week. From there, we can go ahead. Okay, second. Yeah. Okay, you all can see my screen.
Yes, Lakshman, we can see.
Okay. So, so fitness beyond body is the topic that we started last week. It is going to take a little more time than we had planned. That's why we divided this into two sessions. So a quick recap, we were talking about the importance of being in a good mental state. And we discussed, as part of this, we discussed about, I'm not going to cover every slide because it's already covered last time. So we were talking about mind-body connection and mental health. Is it a growing concern today? And thoughts and physical health, right? Are they related? And dealing with health problems and how to gain the willpower to stay there, awakening the medicine within, right? And question answers. So we were going to check, let's get healthy and wealthy. So we discussed about mind and body link, how much people today are in distress, because of anxieties and several mental related problems. And we also discussed about, I'm going fast on these slides because you can see the part one of the presentation. We have spent ample time on each slide. This is just a recap until we reach the last slide where we stopped. So is mental health really a challenge today? We saw so many articles and so many metrics analysis of data, which shows that mental health is a big problem, especially in Western countries. And to some extent, even in the Eastern countries, in India also is getting affected now. So we saw, majorly we saw, Asia Pac, North America, South America, Australia, and even in India. We saw some statistics of India also. So I'm not going to spend time. We actually read through most of the statistics last time. And the real question was, is it a real problem today? Yes, it is a real problem. It's very apparent that it is a real problem, right? And we have to work on it and fix it, right? So some of you who have not joined last session, you can go back and see the past session of the, do we agree that mental health problems need to be resolved? Yes, they have to be resolved because not only is personal life getting affected, even the office life, even the productivity of the employee gets affected because of mental health issues. Effects of mental health, we have physical, behavioral, emotional. This also we discussed last time, how the mental health shows up in a person, how he behaves, how he is emotionally stable, his cognitions, and most importantly, even the physical aspect. Even externally, you can see that person who is having mental health issues can be easily identified. Now, mental health is created by fearful mind, right? So how many types of fears are there, right? What are the things that you fear? Now, surprisingly, as we are going more and more modern, we are also adding the list of fears. Like if you can see here, from A to Z, there is a huge list of fears. Weirdest of the fears, people have got today. Like that, like D to K and basically all alphabet by alphabet. You can see so many fears. We have kept it here, just so that you know that mental health is actually a problem. A lot of people have, when you're fearful, you can't make your decisions properly. And we also discussed about the abbreviation of fear. Does anyone remember what is the abbreviation of fear? FEAR. Hmm? Anyone on the call? Last week we discussed about what does FEAR represent. We give an abbreviation to it. No one remembers? Okay, let me tell it then. So it is false evidence appearing real. That is fear, right? So something that is false, which actually doesn't exist, and it appears to be real, is fear, right? So we think that something is going to happen. So it's like a false evidence. We are just thinking, but it appears so real that we become scared, that we become completely dysfunctional sometimes, because we think that it's going to happen with us. Most of the time, our mind cheats us, saying, "Oh, this will happen. Oh, that will happen. Oh, then what? Oh, then what?" So by thinking so, by becoming fearful, you completely mess up your today and even tomorrow. Past is anyway gone, right? So fear is not a good emotion to carry. So in relation to that, what do you fear? You have to decide what do you fear, right? And of course, when there is proper knowledge, then we can overcome that fear. Most important thing is knowledge. When we have proper knowledge, especially ancient knowledge coming from scriptures, lot of things are automatically answered and we lighten up. That's the reason our ancestors never had many heart attacks or never went into mental issues. This whole mental disturbance issues are more and more happening in the current modern scenario. And I'm not saying this is statistics is evidence, right? So let's fix the. So we talked about how do we fix this mental health problem, right? Um, but before we do that, we have to promise that few things we are going to do as prerequisites. If you're not going to do those prerequisites, then you cannot fix it. It's as good as you're taking a medicine and also taking poison with it, right? So you're taking a medicine to remove the poison, but then you're also taking the poison, right? So you have to let go certain things, or at least control certain things extremely well in order to correct your mental situation, right? Everybody is addicted to WhatsApp. Yes, you have to remove that WhatsApp for some time in a day or a large time in a day. There are friends I know who only use for 2 hours in a day. They switch on WhatsApp only when they want, and they answer the messages. And if need be, make a call instead of 20 messages, make a call and close the discussion. And so you have to do that. There is no other go. WhatsApp is a problem. Now, Facebook, you have to stop letting go, sharing people, whatever good or bad you're doing in life. Stop sharing it. Who cares? Too much Instagram, too much Facebook is not going to keep you happy. In fact, it'll make you more depressed. Don't check your emails. Official emails, yes, but I tell you, even official emails, there have to be certain intervals in which you should not touch, because when you're actually working on a document or a deliverable, right? You don't want to keep checking mails in between. Sometimes it's okay to switch off the phone also, because by that way you can focus nicely, and most importantly, you will be satisfied with what you're doing, right? Why people are not satisfied with their work today is because they're too many things. They're just doing too many things. Too many things, not what the boss gives, what the WhatsApp gives, what the Facebook gives, and what the Instagram gives. That is the too many things I'm talking about. People say they don't have time to work. I really don't believe that. They have so much time to browse. They have only good reasons to say I don't have time to work. If you simply cut off all the browsing time, unnecessary chats, unnecessary cribbing, that I'm being, company is doing injustice to me, to us, and all that nonsense. If you just cut that off, focus on your work, do your part. You have ample time to finish your deliverables. Of course, if somebody has really messed up with the estimation of work, it's a different thing, but most of the time it doesn't happen, because even the customer wouldn't accept if you present anything unrealistically, right? So you have to let go some of these things. Switch off your phone. Most difficult thing to do. People are ready to switch off ventilator in ICU, but not their phone, right? It is so much become like a ventilator, keeping us alive. So almost feels like a different world when you switch off these four things, right? I mean, WhatsApp off, mobile off, your Facebook off, unnecessary emails off. If you just cut this whole thing off, it's a different world that you live in, isn't it? So we have to, I'm not saying go back in time, stopping all this. That's not the key. Idea is give good time for what you're doing. Be in the present. The most important, be in the present. And so you can represent properly, right? Um, Now, how do you cure the mental health? We talked about some external causes, external way of treating. Somebody has boils, you can wash your face, you can put some face pack, you can even bust the boils, but problem is they'll come back again, right? Or you want to stop the pollution in the environment, you can go and do dharna on the road for big big Walmarts not to come, or you can start Swachh Bharat, or do cleaning and awareness. But that's not the problem. The why the environment is getting polluted is because there's too much greed, and why the blood is getting infected is because there is too much infection, right? So you have to work on the root cause. So that's what we have to do in order to cure our mental health also. You got to work on the root cause. Going to vacations, so for example, going and telling your boss, sir, I think I'm too much disturbed, I think I want to take a vacation, and let me go on a vacation and come back. What will a vacation do? Give me a break. I mean, what does a vacation actually? Vacation creates more anxiety because it's a temporary happiness, right? As soon as you go on a 5 week vacation, the only day you'll enjoy is maybe the first day. Second day, you'll start thinking about the fifth day. Third day, you'll start dreaming about the fifth day. Fourth day, practically you are in the fifth day. Fifth day is anywhere ruined because you are already out of vacation. So nobody enjoys any vacation. At least for mental health curing purposes, vacation is not a good idea. And playing in clubs, playing sports, going to pub, doing dance, uh, because they are temporary. See, you do get a good feeling. I'm not saying they don't give a good feel, but they're temporary in nature, isn't it? It's like what do you want to spend on, temporary things or permanent things, right? You have to better fix the permanent things so you don't have to invest again and again on temporary things. Like they're like band-aids, right? You get hurt, you put a band-aid. Again it bleeds, put another band-aid. Again tomorrow morning, remove, put another band-aid. They're temporary. Instead of that, get a proper treatment done for good, and you don't have to put so many band-aids. And band-aids are not a cure, right? They're not going to supplement the problem. So you have to look for a complete solution for mental health, right? So then this is where this is a slide where we stopped last time. Is there are four thoughts. One of the major way to cure is we have to control the thoughts that we are thinking on a day-on-day basis, right? Can anyone tell me what are the four kinds of thoughts that we discussed last time? Come on, try at least one or two. Guys, being silent doesn't make you smarter, or doesn't make the seminar interesting. Come on. I'm sure you remember at least one or two. What are the thoughts? What are the four kinds of thoughts that we carry? Normally people carry. Hmm? You guys can unmute, right? Yes, you can unmute. Come on, you don't even remember one? My dear friends, we are doing this seminar so that you all can learn some things and apply in your life, and get better at your work in your personal life, like that, right? And I am requested to do these seminars. I also have passion to help people. If you all don't participate, it's very depressing to even conduct such sessions. I mean, I'm asking you what kind of thoughts uh, people carry in their minds, and some of you, I can remember the names that you joined even last session. Don't you remember even one of them? Please, let's make it a joyful afternoon by sharing and talking. Hmm? No one? I can't believe this. See, guys, if you all want to improve from where you are and you want to go into some leadership roles, it's a very important attribute that you should talk. if you're not talking, nobody is going to appreciate the work that you do. And in fact, we are living in a world where what you talk really matters at your workplace. When you become leaders, you can't be silent like this. You have to speak up. It's not about what you're going to speak up is right or wrong. It's about it's not about right or wrong. It's about speaking itself makes other people feel that you're part of that project, that you're part of the company, if they're part of the whole exercise that we're doing. So get the habit of speaking, and so that even others can benefit when you speak and say, okay, this is what I feel. So anyways, I'm here to help, and I'll continue with what I'm sharing. It's up to all of you to improve your your speaking skills, your presentation skills, your participating skills. They all matter, right? Everything is part of the training. So broadly, four kinds of thoughts, right? I mean, very simple: positive thoughts, negative thoughts, necessary or routine thoughts, and wasteful thoughts. We spent a lot of time discussing on this last week. And this is where I said, we'll stop it here logically, and from here we'll continue the seminar for the future discussions. You all remember this? Anyone? Do you remember this?
Yeah, just
Yes.
recollecting, Lakshman.
Yes.
My God, for a minute I was feeling, that what's going on with you guys? I mean, nobody's even talking. Yeah, thank you for giving me the confidence that there are people who are attending this, or I'm speaking to a wall. Okay. So anyway, so positive thoughts, negative thoughts, necessary thoughts, and wasteful thoughts, right? So positive thoughts is about healthy comparisons. You want to become like somebody who is good at certain things, right? And you want to become righteous, you want to be helpful, you want to be kind to others, you want to help others, with good intentions. That all comes under positive thoughts. And negative thoughts is your hatred towards others, your negativity towards others, your unnecessary conclusions about others, your revengeful thought process, right? All those things come part of negative thoughts. And as part of necessary thoughts is the routine thoughts. I have to get up in the morning, I have to go to the office, I have to do this work. My responsibilities are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my expectations. My boss's expectations are falling. So I have to do those during a day. Then I have to do my exercise. I have to do my yoga. I have to do my reading. I have to do my hobbies. Then I have to come home, take rest. Actually, some of the things that I told here, I'm sure nobody is doing. Hobbies, exercise, good health, yoga, nobody is doing. But I told. But there are the necessary thoughts, your routine during a day, right? Which if you're not doing, obviously you'll not be happy. So one of my hobbies is to make presentations like this, right? So I'm very happy because you put your thoughts on the paper, then you get more thoughts, you get clarity on what you think. Lot of ways it is helpful. So everything that you have to do to survive also becomes part of your routine thoughts. How you make money, how you lead a life, what are all the obligations, responsibilities, personal relationships that you have to maintain, right? Everything becomes part of it. And wasteful thoughts are what if thoughts, like what if I did that? What if I would have done that, right? Something about the past. Why did I? How could I? Why will I do something like that? And fearing about the future, like what if that happens, right? They're called rocking chair thoughts. You're just swinging and you're starting to thinking about, okay, I'll become something, or how badly I messed up my life in the past, right? So wasteful thought. Is there anything positive going to come out of this? Nothing will come out. Nothing good will come out of it. You will just keep thinking, right? What if, what if, what if? Yeah. So these four thoughts, everybody carries. Everybody carries these four thoughts, irrespective of what position you are, newcomer, old person, whatever you carry these four thoughts: positive, negative, necessary, and wasteful thoughts. So can you tell me what are the two thoughts? If you have to choose two out of these, what are the two thoughts you should keep in your mind, and what are the two thoughts you should remove from your mind? Hmm?
Positive and necessary thoughts.
Yes,
Should,
positive
yeah.
and necessary or routine thoughts you have
Yeah.
to keep.
Yeah.
And what are the two thoughts you should remove?
Negative thoughts and wasteful thoughts.
Exactly, right? You should get rid of the negative thoughts and wasteful thoughts. They're of no use. The more thoughts you carry, the more heavier your head becomes, right? Um, like if there are too many things on the desktop, you don't know which one to use, right? So you better keep clearing it and keep a clean desktop with two folders: today's tasks and tomorrow's tasks. That's it. And then whatever you could not finish today, put it in tomorrow. So your clarity of thought is there. Your screen is clear, your desktop is clear, work is clear. So carrying too many things is always a problem. Carrying too many negative thoughts is always a big problem. A lot of people today carry a lot of negative thoughts, right? And due to the negative thoughts, that they not only have destroyed their past, they are destroying their present, and they're also destroying their future. How many of you would like to sit and talk about somebody else's appraisal in the office? Huh? And what is that? How is it useful for you? Instead, talk about your own appraisal. Sit down and think, how can I genuinely grow in a company organically, right? Not unorganically, okay, if I jump, I'll get 20%. If I switch, I'll get 40%. Those people are losers, because how long can you do that? You're just being an opportunist. That's it. People who have grown in their careers are not the people who are jumping like monkeys from one branch to another branch, but who have been strong wherever they are, and they have proven their capability in that place, and they made sure that company has benefited. Whether or not they're recognized, they will always grow in the career, because the right people will at one point recognize them and say that you are an extraordinary individual. Companies need people like you, right? So it's not always to be calculated that, okay, did it affect my next appraisal? No. Positive attitude affects ultimately your ultimate overall growth. It does not. Sometimes due to politics in the office, due to people who don't not having the right boss, there are many reasons why sometimes right people are not recognized, but doesn't mean that we shouldn't be right, doesn't mean that we should not do the right things. So the people who carry positive thoughts will be ultimately growing in the company, right? They can hop and jump into companies, but they can't grow. They will at one point they'll realize that they don't belong to that group, right? Because you don't have the maturity to be in that group. For example, if one of you is promoted, say a programmer is promoted as executive vice president in a company, how long can he function? There was this Telugu and Tamil movie. Tamil movie which dubbed in Telugu, and then even it was made in Hindi, about a reporter becoming a chief minister for a day, right? But that's a movie. They showed as if he could change the whole world in one day. But that's a movie. A reporter can never do what a chief minister does, because to become a chief minister, you need to know a lot of things about the state, a lot of things about how the government works. So you have to be part of the elections, part of the government functioning for a certain period of time, so that you can get ready to serve properly. Right? You can't just fake it. You can't just fake it. Even if you fake it, you're not going to remain for too long. So wasteful thoughts, people who carry wasteful thoughts, people who carry negative thoughts will not float for too long in any company. And last week we also discussed about being revengeful, right? So being revengeful, I gave you a nice tip. Can anyone remember what is the tip I gave to control your revengeful feeling? What is the thought I gave you last week? Anything that comes to your mind about revengeful feelings, can you share? We discussed on length. Actually, last week the participation was really good. I was really happy. Most of you spoke. It looks like everybody who normally speaks is not joined today. So what are your thoughts about revengeful feelings? Should you carry them? What are the disadvantages if you carry them, and how can you avoid them? Yeah, nobody? Everybody likes to carry revenge?
No, no, Lakshman.
I'm really thinking how to provoke you to speak, all of you. That is the situation you're taking me to. Boy. So tell me, I mean, what is the solution for revengeful feelings? How do you stop revengeful feelings? Hmm? You get revengeful feelings, right?
Controlling emotions.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you control? What is the thing that you'll tell to yourself when you get a revengeful feeling? You want to take revenge on somebody that occupies your mind. You can't work properly in the office. You can't sleep properly in your home. You can't eat properly while that person's thought comes. So how are you going to remove the revengeful feelings?
Ignore them.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, try to ignore. But what is the philosophy which will help you ignore? What will you tell yourself to ignore?
Imbibing with the positive thoughts.
So focus more on the positivities. Okay,
Yes.
good one.
Don't get any benefits from taking the revenge.
It's a good one. So what is the benefit that I'll ultimately get by taking a revenge, right? Good one. Yeah. Anybody else? Last week I gave a tip. I told what is the thing that you should tell your mind in order to stop acting revengefully. Try to remember what I told last week.
With your success.
Okay, I'll give a clue. Is it really your dash to take that revenge? What comes in the dash? Is it really your dash?
Necessary.
Ego.
Worth.
Ego.
Okay. Yeah, you are egoistic, so you're taking a revenge. Is it really your dash blank to take that revenge?
Worth.
Work. Okay, you're very close.
Character.
Well, okay, yeah, that is a good one, but not the one that I'm looking at. Is it really your duty to take that revenge? Right? So it's a very important thing that we should learn, that nobody can take complete revenge in this life, right? Because either you don't know how much to, or you'll end up taking more and you do injustice, right? So basically somebody did a small fault and you go and beat that fellow up, or you shout at that fellow so badly, you either shout more or you shout less. You don't know how much to shout also, because depending on your mental state, you will let go everything on that poor fellow that is doing more, overdoing. And because you don't know the importance of what he has done or messed up, you don't know how much to react also. So, and another most important thing is, we all believe in the philosophy that what goes around comes around. You know, what you have done, if you've done good to others, the good will come back. And if you've done bad to others, the bad will come back. This is called karma philosophy, right? Though people reject karma, but they definitely agree with what I told. Every action has an equivalent reaction, right? So that theory works. So in life also, if somebody has done anything bad to you, you should actually believe in that God whom you worship, whatever name you give to that God. And don't you think he's a father of all of us and he will take care of things? maybe slowly, but eventually it will be corrected. If you really trust in a higher authority, you don't have to worry about what's happening down. You can just move on with life and don't have to make it your duty to take revenge. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you can remember this one thing, that I don't want to take revenge. Okay, meaning, does it mean I'll not react? No, I will react. But revenge is another level of reaction, right? Reaction is, no, what you did is wrong. Sorry, let me leave. That's you just leave from there. By leaving from there, you've done two good things. One, you're going to use the next few minutes for something better instead of shouting and fighting with that person. And by leaving from there, you're avoiding a very unpredictable situation of what might happen if you start reacting on it. Especially, we should exercise this when it's on you, not on others, right? For example, if somebody else is being beaten or tortured or humiliated, you should get involved and try to help that other person. There, we should not show limits. I'm not saying you should become revengeful there, but you should not limit yourself, right? You should react. At the same time, say that if it is happening with you, just react and say okay. And you, in the mind, you can even say that, as per karma philosophy, maybe something bad I did is coming back to me, right? What goes around comes around, right? So I better accept it. And treat it as something that God has done to give me a realization. I might sound spiritual in certain words that I'm using, but the overall solution that we are giving here is very scientific, if you look at it, right? Because science also says if you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. No science on the planet so far has told you do good, you get bad. No, it doesn't happen like that. So science also works on invisible principles. So does spirituality. I'll tell you an example of Dhritarashtra, one great character in Mahabharata who had many sons. And all of them were killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Mercilessly, everybody was killed by Bhima. Then Dhritarashtra the king, when Krishna went to speak to him after the war, he went to Hastinapur to meet him. At that time, Dhritarashtra asked Krishna, what I would have done to deserve this, to lose all my 100 sons, 100 capable, well-established warrior kind of sons. What I would have done. For that, Lord Shri Krishna answers that, hey Dhritarashtra, 50 lifetimes ago, you, for a playful reason, destroyed a big nest of birds. All their children fell to the floor and broke apart. Some infant young ones, some of them still in the eggs, some of them just hatched, right? Like that. So they all fell down and they all died. And then you put a fire also on the tree, just for fun. Whatever you were in last life, a hunter, a psycho, or whatever you were, you did this. And all the 50 of them died. And because you did this, the effect of that karma is you have to lose, you were cursed actually by the birds. They were told you will lose your 100 sons, right? So that is the reason you lost your 100 sons in this life. And this happened many, many lives before. He told at least 100 lives before. So then Dhritarashtra asked a question back saying, hey Krishna, if I have done something bad 100 lives ago, you should have given me right after that life. Why are you waiting for this life after 100 lives to give me the punishment of this 100 sons? For that, Krishna explained that Dhritarashtra, even to beget a son, meaning even to have a son in your family, you need to do so much pious credits. You need to have a lot of pious credits, son or daughter for that matter. Especially son, because son carries the lineage of the family, and he expands the family with the family name, right? So ancestors are very happy when the Pinda Pradhan, everything is done. Every year, Pushkaral, in Pushkars, you go and mix their bones, and you pray for your ancestors. All that is done mostly by the sons. Not that women cannot do it, but predominantly explain that sons are in a better situation mentally to do it. So the question is, Dhritarashtra is asking, hey, why did I get 100 lives to get this punishment? Why is the 100 lives gap? Then Lord Shri Krishna explained that actually you do not have any pious grades to have children. Unless you are very fortunate, you will not have children. And to have capable sons is another thing. So we waited for you to so many lives to accumulate so much credit that in one life itself you'll get 100 sons and we'll kill all 100 of them and you'll be relieved, right? So this is how Dhritarashtra was pacified when he asked the question, why me? Why me? Because you are not that me whom you were 20 years ago, right? 30 years ago. When you come out of the school, you're not that same me. You're a different person, right? So what comes back to you, from which life it comes, how much it comes, is a different topic, which we'll discuss as part of some spiritual quotient, like why do bad things happen to good people. We can discuss that if you're interested. So carrying revengeful thoughts ultimately is one of the most alluring, impactful thing on the mind. There's a big impact on the mind. So you should not carry them, right? Any thoughts, reflections on what I just told? Questions about revengeful thoughts? Hmm? Anybody? No questions? At least say yes for this year.
No questions, but sometimes some persons will say self-satisfaction is obtained by this revenge,
Self what?
Self-satisfaction.
Okay, two things there, right? I mean, you take a revenge, will it stop there or is it only going to extend? That's
It
number one.
may,
And second is, are you in a position to even execute that revenge? What if you fail in between? What if you half do it? It's more damaging, right? And third, if you are just constantly thinking about the revenge, how can you have a peaceful day? You can't have a peaceful day. Peaceful present is not possible if you keep thinking about all the revengeful thoughts, isn't it?
uh, some some people in some emotions they will try to say, they will go to these negative thoughts and they will thinking of that revenge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll just be back in a minute. I want you all to please put up your thoughts and start discussing. Okay, please, all of you, just think about what you want to say about revenge and what I just discussed. I'll just be back in a second. I'm back. Yeah. So my question to all of you is, if you don't adopt to this philosophy that it is not your duty to take revenge, then you land up spending a lot of time thinking about revengeful feelings. And let me tell you, a lot of mental people who have, I'd say mentally disturbed people are the people who carry such revengeful thoughts. They accumulate such revengeful thoughts. They don't execute it, don't discuss it, don't know how to solve it, and they'll end up creating a lot of disturbance in their workplace also. For example, your project manager did not treat you well in the past project, and you are in the next project, right? Will you perform properly? No, because you're carrying the revengeful thoughts. Even though that fellow is good in this project or things are going on well, you will make sure that they're ruined because you want to take a revenge. You know what I'm saying? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
Revengeful thoughts is not good for anyone. No one. But lot of mental illnesses are one of the main root causes revengeful thoughts. You have to
And
learn. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, somebody was saying something. Hello? I heard a voice, then I stopped. You want to ask a question? Yeah. So any which case, see, I'm trying to help you all by telling you that this one philosophy of accepting what happens in your life as something that you deserve and seeing every difficult situation as an opportunity for excelling, these are the positive thoughts which will actually make you successful in life. Because there's no leader on the face of this planet who has not gone through failures. No one. Uh, but if they would have sat down there thinking revengefully about what happened with them, they would have never achieved what they've achieved in life. Do you agree? Hmm? Are you following what I'm saying? Can you, anyone of you, give an example? Even example from today's life, or any scriptural example, or any story that you can think of where the person, instead of taking a revenge, he took a positive step forward, and that paid off well in the life. Hmm? Can you think of a story, anybody? No one? No stories? Guys, I mean, really, life is so boring that there's nothing happening in anybody, or you're not heard from anyone, any movie that you've seen, or any story that you've heard where a person has not taken revenge and that helped him actually excel in life.
Duryodhana.
So your voice is breaking.
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana took a revenge, right? That is the reason he ruined his life.
Like
I'm
means
asking you.
he lost
Yeah, go ahead.
because of revenge only he lost all the things, right? Like at last also.
No, I'm asking the other way around. You're telling about because of revenge, how the people ruined their life. There are thousands of examples, right?
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
saying people who were bold enough to say that I will not take revenge, I'll instead use my energy for a positive direction and really achieve something in life.
Mhm.
Any examples of those can you remember?
No.
So that is the situation today. We are most of the time seeing movies and web series where it's all about taking revenge. Nobody teaches us that not taking revenge also is a very smart decision, isn't it? That is the reason we should learn spirituality in life. If you learn spirituality in life, you'll have those positive
Yes.
stories. Otherwise, you'll only
Yeah.
go with negative stories.
In last session, you said like one person is chasing who has accidented him. In chasing itself, he got more affected than in accident. That is an example.
That's a good example. Yes, instead of taking a revenge, you would have just waited for the Lord to take its own course and not chase it, not chase like that. He would have less injured himself. I'll tell you a story of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was humiliated, thrown out of a train because his skin was brown. Right? So what did he do? He chased the train, got into the train and killed that fellow. What did he do?
He just sit on the station.
He sat down on the station, okay, and
The officer comes to the station and that's
forget about the little details of what he did in the station. Overall, what did he do? He took up his mission of life to remove this problem of him being humiliated, or Indians being humiliated by the British, right? He converted that revengeful thought into a very positive thought of fighting the freedom struggle for India, isn't it? Instead of that, had he gone and murdered that fellow, he would have been sitting in some jail in Africa and died there. But he said, okay, something bad has happened with me. Something bad has happened with me. Why should I not convert this into something very positive? Right? Have you heard of a lady named Sindhu Tai? Anybody here? Sindhu Tai Mutkal. Have you heard? Yes or no?
No.
No.
No, no.
Okay, guys, I'm going to discuss this story with you, but on one condition, that you will spare me a little audience here. I mean, I'm really struggling to conduct this seminar with so much silence. Please speak up. Sindhutai Sapkal. This lady. Have you heard of her? Anybody?
yeah.
She got the Woman of the Year award. She got many trophies around the world. I'll tell you her story. I'll tell you a story. Briefly, I'll tell, not the whole story, I'll tell. Okay. So please, you all can also hear this and share with your friends. By the way, because nobody's speaking, I started feeling drowsy, so I got my tea here, right? My little herbal tea I got. Because in the afternoon, if I'm seeing a blank screen, it is so difficult to speak after some time. Can some of you on your cameras when that? I know that's the most difficult thing to do on the planet, but let me know if you people even exist before I tell the story. Yeah. Thank you. One camera is on. Can I have some more cameras on, please? I'm going to tell you a story, guys. Come on. I can't just tell the story to a blank screen. I hate presenting like this. Normally, whenever I speak, there is a big audience and we share and we talk and Don't you think even you want to be like that, talking to people? Huh? Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for sharing your screen. Thank you. Yes. Now this makes me feel nice, right? Nobody is going to give you an award for the best hairstyle or for the best complexion. Okay. This is a seminar that's going to help all of us. So just be, yeah. Thank you. And few others also, please, open your screen. That's okay. Yeah. So Sindhutai, she was a illiterate. Are you able to listen to me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Sindhutai, it's a very beautiful story, but I'm going to put it very, very short. So she was a uneducated woman, meaning she did not go to school in Maharashtra, and she had, I think she had 3 children. No, I think she had two children, and she was pregnant with the third one, and she used to work in a factory, and her husband used to work somewhere in other part of the city, of the village, basically. And it so happened that uh, one of the main guys in that village, he got a desire of enjoying this lady, and he would also exploit the woman who would go and work in his factory. So he had the factory, and when women used to go and work in the factory, he would exploit them, by not paying them well, by mistreating them, etc. So what Sindhutai did is she could not like his behavior, so she went and complained against him to the police, right? And the police, it's a small village, so the person got to know that somebody has lodged a complaint against him. So what that fellow did is he told her that if you don't remove that complaint, he's going to make her life miserable. But she told no. I'm not going to take back the complaint because you're mistreating people. So then, then what that fellow did is he went to her husband, Sindhutai's husband, and told him that the child who is in her womb is actually his child. That's what he told. Right? The third child that she has, in her womb is actually his child, which is a wrong thing, a completely bad thing to say. And he also told her husband that if he is not going to kick her out of the village, then he will make sure that he'll be killed, right? Something like that. He threatened. And what the husband did, husband and his mother-in-law and in-laws, the moment they got to know about this, they started beating her up like anything, because now they understood that if they have to live in that village, they have to follow the order of that big guy. And they started beating her. Even when she was pregnant, she was beaten so badly. And it is explained that she was so badly beaten that she actually died. In a way, they felt that she died, with the child in her womb, almost a 9-month-old pregnant, she died. That's what they thought. And they throwed her outside in the backyard where they keep the cows. So they had cows in the house. So they throwed her body in the backyard. And it so happened that later on, after some time, actually Sindhutai woke up. She was into coma or she was unconscious, I don't know what, but she woke up. She was alive. She didn't die. And then her husband found out that she is alive, and again he came with a whatever weapon to kill her. And this time, believe it or not, the cows in that place, practically the cow stood on her, like she was on the ground, and there was a cow literally standing on top of her, not with the feet on her, feet on 4 corners. You know what I'm saying? She's right underneath the cow, and the cow is not, like, the cow's legs are all around her. And when her husband came to kill her, the cow literally didn't allow her husband to kill her, right? And several other cows also in the Goshala, they did not allow her to be killed. So that was her situation. And in that situation, in that Goshala, with everything, bleeding her face and wounds, she delivered that baby. she actually delivered that baby, right? And then she took that baby. It's a long story, how many things happened, but I'm just trying to tell you the main parts. So it's a horrible thing to happen, right? I mean, you have served your husband, you've given him already 2 children, and then you're not done anything wrong, and your husband has done something bad. He not only listened to the false statements of that head of the village, bad person, but he also tried to kill her. So then she left that goshala with that small child in her hands. She didn't know where to go because she was from that village. She didn't know what else to do. She went to a burial yard, and in the burial yard, when people are, burnt, to death, sorry, I mean, after they die, they're burnt. They also get some puffed rice and they throw around, right? You throw around the puffed rice. So she picked up that puffed rice, wherever it was fallen in the burial ground, and she put them into a small bowl, mud bowl, and put some water in it and boiled it on the flames of the dead bodies. Because where else can she cook, right? Because she has to eat something so she can give milk to the infant child, right? And somehow she survived in that burial ground for some time. It is explained even the tree, the tree under which she lives, the branch literally came down to give her shade, once it is told. There are a lot of stories around it. And now here is a big turning point. So she went to a train station platform to commit suicide. She said, I'm not going to live this life. I don't know where to go. The small child in my hands. I don't know what to do. So I better commit suicide. So she went there, and just when she was waiting for the train, she saw a small child crying in the platform. Somebody's child, beggar, some begging woman child or begging child or whatever. So she immediately went and asked food from few others on the platform, and whatever little she got, she fed that child. And then she saw one more child like that on the platform, and then she did that. And then she thought, I should do something for these children. She herself doesn't have any shelter or anything, but what she did, she brought those children to one place and she started taking care of them by begging, by doing whatever that she can do. She started supporting this children, right? And she started with 4 children, 10 children, 20 children. At one point, it became even 40, 50 children that she was supporting. And at one point, local people saw this activity that she was doing of helping children, orphans, and they started pulling up some money and they started giving it to her, right? And then she accumulated that money and she opened up a small place. They gave a small place in the village where she can keep these orphan children. And then she started a proper orphanage, right? People helped her do that. And then she started taking care of these children. And in a matter of time, the 100 children became 1,000 children, right? And she was heading an orphanage, a huge orphanage, and then which turned into orphanages, right? And lady in her 15 to 20 years of her life had more than 50,000 children, if I'm right, in her orphanages. 50,000 orphan children she was taking care. And at one day, now there's a long story, but one day she told that, and when she was doing her taking care thing, and they serve food in the orphanage. So one day she was serving to everybody who came there, beggars, whoever comes to the orphanage, she would give them food. While she was serving the food, she saw an old man sitting, waiting for the food. And she looked into his eyes, and that was none other than her own husband, right? Her husband. And she took him into the office. And she told him one thing. The amazing thing she told him is that she told, I forgive you for what you've done, because some very good thing I could do in life because of you, You mistreated me so badly that I lost all my hope. And that's when God helped me do something that I was born for. Had I been with you, I would have never done what I've done here today. And she told him that he can remain in the orphanage, not as her husband, but as one of her children, one of her childs. Like she's taking care of thousands of children, her husband can also live in the orphanage just like a child with no other special privilege or recognition. But he'll be nicely taken care just like any other orphan children, right? And she says the day she decided to forgive him was the most satisfying day of her life, right? Uh, and she told that had I not forgiven him, I could have never achieved any happiness, right? And the picture of seeing her, that she is that Sindhutai, and you can hear. I can send you a nice link. Actually, my guru Radhanath Swami, I have a spiritual guru, and he has spoken about her in a very nice, understanding way. I'll share that link sometime. You can hear the whole story, right?
She's from Maharashtra.
Yeah. And do you know who this girl is? This lady?
No, no.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This lady. She is the girl she gave birth in that Goshala,
Oh,
right? Her daughter. And very recently she passed away. Very recently, like a month back, she left her body.
I think in January.
Yeah, in January. Yeah. So she received so many big awards. So many awards she received. And around the world, people have appreciated her for what she has done. Right? Okay. So how did you like the story? Or what did you learn from the story? What can we learn from the story of Sindhutai?
forgiveness.
Strong determination.
Okay. What else? Come on. We were discussing about a topic. It was relevant to the topic, right? What can you learn from the story of Sindhutai? Did she spend her time taking revenge?
No.
No.
Huh? What would have happened if she would have tried to take revenge? Maybe she would have taken revenge. But would she have become the great person that she has become today?
No.
No. So, my dear friends, and as part of this mental disturbance or mental problems discussion that we started, fitness beyond body, what I'm trying to tell you is we should learn to get over our silly, stupid, revengeful feelings at workplace, at our personal life. They're not worthy to be spent time on. Instead, you use that energy that comes out on something positive, and that can actually make a big difference in your life. Isn't it? That's what she did, right? So whatever compassion that she had, she converted her revenge into compassion. Isn't it? She converted her revengeful feeling. She must have got revengeful feeling against her husband, but she converted that into compassion to such an extent that when she finally saw her husband, she compassionately made him her son. Isn't it? She compassionately made him her son. I don't know if her husband's photo is also there. Let me just see. Since husband. There you go. Here is her husband. Let me show you. Because we are discussing. 1 second. Yeah. Can you see her husband? This person.
Yeah.
Right? And this is her son-in-law. And she has granddaughters. She told God, my husband gave me 3 children, but God gave me thousands of children, right? And she took care of all her children so nicely. You can see her feeding children. Yeah. Look at her family. So many things, so many things. So guys, anyway, somebody someday is going to make a movie. I think there is already a movie made on Sindhutai. There is a Marathi movie that was made. I don't know how much justice they did there, but it's a worthy story to be repeated. But we have to find an opportunity to learn out of it, right? We people working in the companies, we have to learn. What do we learn out of this? The art of forgiveness, right? And the power of forgiveness, and most importantly, positive thinking, right? So clinically also it is told that when we think negative, our muscles tighten up, and energy is sent to limbs, increasing sensitivity to pain. A kind of chemical comes out which is called adrenaline. I don't know how to pronounce it. And there is also some other medicines, when you actually become compassionate and good to others, you get oxytocin or endorphins, right? Some other kind of chemical body releases, which actually relaxes your muscles. So very clearly, our mental state affects our physical state, right? So willpower is very important. Willpower is very important to keep and let go the thoughts, isn't it? It's very easy to say that I want to keep positive thoughts, but a lot of times negative thoughts keep coming again and again and again. So you need willpower, right? Now, how do you develop that willpower? How do you develop that willpower? Number one, find positivity in everything that happens, right? That's very important. You should learn this. Find positivity. What does it mean? A cocoon goes through a big series of transformation to ultimately become a butterfly, isn't it? See, she is a caterpillar. She's going insult into the cocoon, and finally, from the cocoon, she comes out and becomes a butterfly. So, butterfly can fly and be happy, right? Once, one boy, he saw that this cocoon was not able to break open, and the butterfly was struggling to come out, right? He saw that it was struggling to come out. So what he did, he took a small sharp object and tried to tear apart the cocoon. And in the process, what happened? Instead of tearing apart the cocoon, he landed up tearing apart her wings. And as a result of that, even though the butterfly came out, but he could never fly. He died. He died because he can't find food. So what does it mean? It means that sometimes it's okay to let people go through their struggles. Be supportive to them, be around them, help them. But remember that the struggle is going to make somebody great. Struggle is going to bring out something great out of you, right? It's okay to go through the struggle. Sometimes some project works, are very difficult. I'll tell about my own experience of being in an IT project when I was implementing Oracle for the first time in a logistics company, an Indian company called Gati. Gati Cargo. You must have seen Gati trucks. So it works on Oracle financials, and I'm the one who implemented it. I was there in the team. I was taking care of general ledger, the main ledger, and the accounts payable workbenches. We struggled so much to implement that. Literally, we worked like 16, 18 hours a day for 1 year, not for a few weeks. Because there were so many complicated processes involved, so many inbound systems, outbound systems, so many interfaces. And they had a different legacy system which had to be integrated with Oracle Financials, which was not out-of-box solution. It has to be completely customized. Oh my God, so many things. They developed a system called GEMS, Gati Management, GEMS, Gati Enterprise Management System, something like that. So we went through so much struggle. In our team, we were around 7 or 8. But before us, 2 teams had changed. Can you believe it? 2 teams had changed before us because they could not take the struggle. They did not accept the challenge. They felt that, oh, this is too much to do. I rather go and go to on-site project. Why to work in an Indian project? I rather go and find somewhere where the work is a little less, something like that. But we as 7 people, I still remember the names. Myself, Shripad, Anil, Yoga, Kiran, Radhika, right, and few others who came and went, who helped us. We never gave up. We never gave up. We went through the struggle. We implemented something that was so difficult to be implemented. Even the client knew that users are going to take a lot of time to accept this change. His name was VT Pawar, the CFO of the company, who was actually on the business side, helped us implement. Let me tell you guys, after that, after Gati cargo implementation, all 7 of us were placed in 7 different implementations, right? I went into airline implementation. Somebody went into um, oil mill kind of implementation. People went into different kind of implementations, and all the 7 of us were the favorite functional consultants of our project managers. Literally, they were picking and choosing us wherever we go. I want that guy. I want that girl. The Gati team. We want the Gati team, because that struggle converted us from a caterpillar to a butterfly. People who escape projects in between, giving reasons of timeline, extra work, complaining about people, and complaining about their salaries, they never grow in careers. They cannot grow because they never enjoy their work. We enjoyed what we did. And even now, if I go on LinkedIn and see all these 7 guys apart from me, I changed my careers, and I have a different history of mine. I came out of IT basically, but these remaining 6 guys, they are in big positions in IT industry today. Why? Because, and even now, when we speak and we meet up sometime, or we have a WhatsApp group, the moment we are reminded about Gati, we have so many things to say. After 20 years of a career, we still remember that project, because that is a project where we struggled and we learned and we went through the pain, which is very sweet now, right? So mentally, we never got depressed. We never took negative thoughts out of it. We had 1,000 complaints against the project manager. We had 2,000 complaints against the company. We had 10,000 complaints against our salaries, but we did not allow those thoughts to come and stop us from performing what we did there, right? And it became our most memorable project, and the most loving and the most learning project. And full life cycle implementation, very less number of people knew, and we were one among those from the end to end complete implementations, right? Conversion of data, everything, right? Sculpture is made by chipping out the unwanted, right? It might look like this, but ultimately it becomes like this. It might look like this ultimately only when you chip out the unwanted. So you should know how to chip out, how to filter everything that's unwanted in your life. You're following what I'm saying? Are you able to follow what I'm discussing here?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True leaders are not the people who give up. True leaders are the people who never give up. Wherever they are, they will excel out of it. And we should look at such leaders, and we should also try to become one. Another thing, find positive in everything that happens. That's one thing. Second is, nothing lasts forever, good or bad. Now, this is a story of my own friend. When I was doing my CA, so the results came, and we were sitting outside. We were sitting, outside the CA institute waiting for the result. And there is this one guy who always used to get ranks, right? Nobody expected him to fail, but unfortunately he failed, and we never thought that he'll fail. And when we got the result, he went and saw his result. He came out and he said, "I failed." He told, "I failed," but he didn't cry or anything. He just laughed. And we all, some of us failed, some of us passed. So immediately we told that fellow, "Hey, you passed, okay? Don't tell us lie. You passed. You have to give us a party. You have to give us a party. You passed." He was like, no, boss, I failed. I did try to understand, I failed. No, there was people, we did not have time to hear him out. We just told, you passed, you are just lying. You're just joking like that. And we forced him to give a party. And actually he gave us a party. He actually gave us a party. He took us from the CA Institute to a dhaba, and we all sat down there, had our lunch. We had a big gala time, and he laughed and he spent. And next day morning, we all got to know that actually he failed. Actually, he failed. But he also gave a party, right? And I salute the attitude of that guy, because we called him and we said, hey, you should have told us strongly that, you actually failed. Why did you just let go? Why did you give us a party? He said, see, it doesn't matter. I wanted to have a good time with my friends, whether I fail or pass, right? It's not in my hands. So tomorrow I'll write again. Next time I'll write again after 6 months, and I will pass it. There is no reason to be so disappointed in life, right? I really like that friend of mine, and I would love to have friends like that in my life, who would not take unnecessary things too much, and because they know that nothing lasts forever, right? Good or bad. There is a beautiful shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Matra sparshasta konteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama apayana nityastam tikshav bharata. Right? I think it's second chapter, 17th shloka, something like that. Well, let me just see. Wait a second. Sorry, I can't continue unless I see that. I'll keep thinking, what is that number? No, it's not 17th. See? So I was thinking something is wrong. I'm not quoting the right. 14. Yes. Matra spashastu konteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama apayana anityastam tikshav bharata. Here, Lord Krishna is telling, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in the due course are like appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O Skyan of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Right? So here Krishna is saying that happiness and distress are like summer and winter. They come and go. Right? When it's too sunny, it's hot. When it's too cold, it's cold. But none of them are permanent. Do you commit suicide because summer is coming? No. Summer will come. After that, rain will come. After that, winter will come. Right? So life is also like that. Nothing is permanent here. So the person who understands this aspect and doesn't overjoy himself when he is successful, he jumps and celebrates. When he's not successful, he's depressed and he is false. No. Either of these reactions are not good. Accept them as part of life. Right? That's what Arjuna is being told before the war of Kurukshetra. Right? What is the darkest moment in the night? Anybody? What is the darkest moment in the night? What time of the night is the darkest moment? Can anybody tell? Midnight. Easiest answer. But think about it. What can be the darkest moment?
Living hope. Living hopes.
Leaving hopes. Yeah. You lose your hopes. That is the darkest moment of life. I'm saying in the night, specifically in the night. What is the darkest moment in the night? When does the darkest moment in the night come? In simple words, in the interest of time, I don't want to make it a part 3. So let me finish it today. So darkest moment in the night is
emergencies.
Huh?
Medical emergencies.
No, I'm not talking about darkest moments in life. I'm saying in the night, N-I-G-H-T, night.
I think in lunar eclipse.
Yes. So some philosophers have explained for a positive thought. They told that the darkest moment in the night is one moment before the sunrise. Right? So we have to learn from this, that just one moment before the sun actually starts coming out, the first ray of sun that comes out, That is the darkest moment in the night. So when we are going through difficult times, my dear friends and colleagues, when we are going through difficult times, always remember that I'm just one moment away from sunrise. I'm just one moment away. If you think this is the most difficult time I'm going through in life, personal life is, professional life, this is the most difficult moment I'm going through. Don't give up there, because you are just one moment away from sunrise. As soon as the sunrise comes, the whole day changes, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a very good thought to carry, right? Like, this shall pass on. This is a very good, remember, tag that you can remember. Just write it down on your hand or your desk, or this will also pass on. If any bad thing has happened, boss has shouted, customer has shouted, you have been given a warning letter, your appraisal is screwed up, whatever that has happened, just say to you, this shall also pass on. Meaning this will also go. This will not remain forever. It's a matter of time. I don't need to jump like a monkey here and there. I just stay there, do my good work. If I'm doing good work, it shall pass on. It's completely in my hands. Life is in our hands. Leaders keep the life. So willpower comes by associating with people who have willpower. Association is the answer. So you should be surrounded by people who have good attitude. If you're going around people and speaking to people who are only talking negative about the company, about the project, about this, about that, you're surrounded around nonsense. You should not be surrounded. Instead, be surrounded around positive people, right? I'm in finance. There are times when I see the company in a very good situation, in a bad situation. It happens to any company, Satyam, Infosys, any company. But I shouldn't get into depression when I see, oh my God, what will happen in this company? No. Go ahead and speak to the directors, go ahead and speak to the key people and say, hey, how do we fix this? How do we take it forward? Here are my suggestions. Here are the thoughts. And we'll fix it. And be surrounded by positive people. We'll say, oh no, don't worry, we'll fix it. So we'll do it. So that's the most, it takes courage to stand on the stage and speak. But today, the real courage is sit and listen. Real courage. Sit down and listen to the advice. That itself is a big courage in today's day and time. So willpower also comes from never staying alone. Never stay alone in life. Being alone is, the dumbest thing you can do. Always stay in association of positive people, right? Now these are called redwood trees. I don't know how many of you have seen this. If you travel to California, you will see these trees, right? These trees are like really high. Sometimes the tree is like 30-40 stories high, like really high, 30-40 floors building. That high the tree is, right? But some amazing part is the roots are very small. The roots are hardly 10 meters, 20 meters long. And these trees are standing for more than, 5,000 years in some cases, 3,000 years some cases. So the question is, when so many hurricanes would have come, earthquakes would have come in the last 4,000-5,000 years, how come the trees are still standing when the roots are so small? Can anybody tell? How come these trees are still standing when the roots are so small? You can tell this example to your children, your friends. It's a very nice example that nature teaches us. We learn from nature. Spirituality means seeing God in everything and seeing God's creation and intelligence in everything. Can anybody guess how these trees are standing when the roots are so small and they're so tall? So tall.
By supporting each other tree.
Who told that answer?
Vanishwar.
That's an amazing answer. Yes, that is the truth, right? If you really go back and see inside, they all intertwine and intermingle to stay strong. That is the secret of redwood trees. They all hold each other. They all intertwine and they hold each other's roots. And because of which the whole forest is like a network. It's a network of trees which are all connected to each other. And they get that strength holding each other. Even though the roots are not going too much down, but still the strength is there to stand. Did you like this example?
Yes.
Yes.
So in life also, when you have difficult times, when you're mentally you're not strong enough, you should be surrounded by people with whom you can intertwine and share, get their wisdom, right? And share your problems, get the wisdom, hear the success stories. When you go and you want to buy a building, when you want to go and buy a flat, what is the most attractive thing that you search for in a flat? What is the thing that makes you take the decision? Come on, quickly. We are losing time. I have to finish this. So,
View.
hmm?
View.
View. Okay.
Yes.
View from the flat. Yes. What else?
Yes.
Ventilation.
Ventilation. Yes. What else? Keep going. Two more. Money. Nobody wants to know how much it costs.
Yeah. Surrounding people.
Surrounding people. Yes. What kind of locality it is. But one thing most of us don't see, and it's very vital. You know what is that? Foundation. How many of you ever thought about how good the builder has kept the foundation of the building? Is it not an important thing to know, guys?
It is.
But none of us think about it. That is what makes us external people, not internal. You know what is the difference between a materialistic person and a spiritualistic person? Spiritual people look for the foundation, material people look for the external beauty, right? Um, Spiritual people inquire about who am I, why am I alive, what happens after death, what is this whole story about, right? What's going on around me? Why are good things happening to bad people? Why are bad things happening to good people? What are these laws? How does this whole thing function? They are more grounded on those realities. When they are grounded in those realities, anything that happens in their life materially doesn't affect them because they are very strongly situated, in their roots. Even if the whole world calamity happens, a spiritually strong person doesn't get disturbed. But a materialistic person who is just standing in his balcony and enjoying, a little shake of the building will finish his life, his dreams, everything is gone, right? If it's gone, it's gone. Oh my God, everything gone. So that's if the recession comes, everybody loses the IT jobs. Oh my God, what will I do? Well, you can do a lot of things. Right? You can do so many things. You can sell fruit juice. Outside our building, there is only one fruit juice vendor. You can keep another fruit juice vendor. Oh, I've done engineering. Am I IIT? How can I sell fruit juice? Well, a spiritual person doesn't think like that. He would just do. He doesn't compare himself materially. He just thinks that any profession I do is for supporting my family, and I get more time for my inner inquiry, right? So if you want to be mentally strong, you should invest on your foundation, not on the externals. Foundation is your emotional strength. That is your foundation. So coming to your projects, invest more time on basics. Spend time with your seniors, understanding the fundamentals of. We are SAP Gold Partner Company. So spend more time on understanding the basics strongly. Don't run around to implement things, but get the basics, fundamentals, right? And then you can use it in any situation. With the experience and guidance of your seniors, you can do a lot of things. But a lot of people, they don't spend time on the fundamental. They are just on a running spear. I want a ready-made solution. I will never write my user manual. I'll copy my last client's user manual and paste it here, and I'll give it to the customer. I'll just make small tweaks. That will never make you a strong fellow. First user manual, you should write it. Of course, you should compare it later with and right tune it and all that. But you should do your things. Foundation should be strong. Are you all understanding what I'm saying? For the people who have good mental strength, they are the people having good foundation. Yeah. Okay. Another thing, Last thing for willpower, what are the 4 things for willpower? Thinking positively, seeing everything as temporary. Third is never stay alone. Always, be around good people. Mind is best to distract when you're alone. And the fourth one is depend on the higher power of God, right? Somebody higher, always depend on them. Like Pandavas, they depended on Krishna. They said, Krishna, you go and negotiate and finalize. Whatever you accept, we'll accept. Even when they had to ask their kingdom back, they did not go and ask. They said, Krishna, you go and you figure it out with Kauravas. Whatever you decide, we are here to accept. How many of us have the guts to do that? Tomorrow morning, go in front of God and tell God, whatever you want to do with my life, you do. I'm going to agree. And you have full faith in God. We should get to that point. We should get to that point in life that anything that happens, I believe, in Sri Krishna. Krishna, you do anything, I'm fine with it. Tomorrow morning, I don't have this job. No problem. It's your plan. So you have some other plan for me. Tomorrow morning, I get paralyzed. That also has a reason. Maybe there is something else you want me to do. So everything has a good reason when you find positivity and when you take shelter of somebody higher. So Pandavas did that when they had to, Yudhishthir went to Krishna and he told, you go and discuss. Krishna went and discussed with the Kauravas. And finally, when there was no other choice, Krishna declared that, okay, let's do the war. War was the last option left to do. And there is a nice story here, that Duryodhan, when he did not agree to give any tract of land, even a land which comes under the tip of a needle, he was not ready to give. Even 5 villages that Krishna asked, he was not ready to give. Then Krishna said, okay, we have to do the war then. There is no other way. And Duryodhan kept conditions even for that war. He said, I'm not going to do the war just like that because I don't want to waste time. I don't want to spend time with beggars. That's what he told. He considered Pandavas as beggars. And he told, I'm not going to spend time. So Krishna told, okay, what conditions do you have? Then Duryodhan told, if these 3 conditions are fulfilled, I'll do the war. What is it? He said, if the war goes for more than 18 days, by default, I'm the winner. Second condition, even if one of the Pandavas is dead, I have won the war. Third condition, even if one Kaurava stays alive, I have won the war. And what did Krishna do? He converted all those 3 conditions into positive side, meaning he finished the war in 18 days, making Pandavas win. He made sure that none of the Pandavas died, because that was one of the conditions. And he made sure that none of the Kauravas remain alive, because that was a condition. So whatever Duryodhana wanted to do in a negative way, Krishna converted that into a positive way for Pandavas, because Pandavas rest assured their life in the hands of Krishna. So that is the greatness of taking shelter of somebody greater. So when you're having some mental problem or you're going through a mental difficulty, you should approach seniors and mentors. You all should have good mentor in office or outside the office. Are you all following what I just discussed just now?
Yes.
Did it make sense? So what are the 4 ways to increase our willpower? Guys, can you repeat it? What are the 4 ways? Two ways are already on the screen. Right? Come on, can anyone speak up? At least tell the 2 ways that are on the screen, Re Baba. My
Be
God.
positive.
Being positive, thank you. Second one?
Don't believe in revenge taking.
Yeah, think everything is temporary in life. That increases your willpower. Third one, never stay alone. Take association of good people. And fourth one, take shelter of some higher power, like God. Right? Is it okay?
Sounds good. Yeah.
My God.
Yes, Lakshman. Yeah.
I'm going to tell Swati, guys, this is like torture for me.
No, might be everything. Everyone is involved, Lakshman.
No, you don't know. You came a little late, Rakesh, but today was one of the, hellish days in giving the seminar.
I was caught up in other meetings.
Yeah, I know, but nobody was speaking. Nobody. I was literally speaking to a PowerPoint software. Right? I mean, this is not, I'm telling everybody again and again that, guys, if we participate, you will learn more. And even the presenter will feel more motivated to, share more. Right? So let's participate. I hope that anyway, from 1st of March, we'll do all this in person. So then I don't have to look at this black boxes. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for the answer that you understood. So awakening the medicine within, the R's, 5 R's. These are the R's where you should exhibit your positive thoughts. What are the places? 4 R's. Role we play. Whatever role we are playing, we should always stay positive. Routine we live in everyday life. The routine should be very positive routine. It should be like filled with energy. Responsibility we carry, whether it's as a father, as a mother, as a project manager, as a project lead, or an individual contributor, everywhere we should be filled with positivity and happiness. And relationships we cherish, right? We should always treat them positively. And what are the cautioning places? Be cautioned from where we are forming our opinions, garbage in, garbage out, right? Now we get opinions from these 5 places. All of you will get this 5 places. Be careful. Parents and family, teachers and mentors, social circle, friends and colleagues, books, movies, and media. Be careful about what you are hearing from them. Because if you hear garbage, you also give garbage, right? Inside, garbage in, garbage out. So we should be very careful in choosing what we are hearing and where we are learning from. Very important. So ABCD of leading a good mental and physical health, right? One is awareness, being present here right now, right? Where are you? What are you doing? What project you are in? What technology you're working on? What is your current way? Fully aware of that. Second, B, breathing. Take clarity. Brings a lot of clarity in your thoughts. Do some pranayama sometimes. Just sometimes when you're tense, it's a good idea to do some kapalbhati, or some pranayama. Even in the office, sitting there without anybody's notice, you can do it, and it really brings down your thinking nerves. I don't know how many of you have done that, but mental stress goes down a lot simply by doing some pranayama and relaxing yourself. You get good ideas after that. I'm not saying it solves the problem, but you get good ideas.
Lakshman, there is a small thought here from my side.
Yeah.
I wear this small thing on my hand, this watch thing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I don't like it because it is itchy for me, but still since last 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the numbers coming up on that. So because of that, what I'll do, like every 1 hour, whenever I'm feeling bored, right, or I'm getting busy with a lot of work, there is some inhaling thing on that. So I click on that. So until that timer goes off, I keep on inhaling and exhaling. That it comes there.
Good one.
And the second thing is you have stress, something related to stress. So we have 3 ranges like relaxed mode, normal, and high and very high.
Mm-hmm.
So if something goes above the stress levels, right, then I go into exhale mode. This small digital thing is working out actually. I mean,
it's working for you. I'm very happy for that. See, the most important thing is you wanted to fix it. You should have that willpower that I want to fix this situation. I need to use some technique to do it. A lot of people don't put that effort to do it. Right? They give up even before trying it out. Some of you can go and meet Rakesh and see what he's doing. You can also try. See, I'm not saying it will work for everyone, but even if it works for one, it's a well done act, right? So you can try that. And so breathing exercise one. Second is chanting and prayers. I do this. I chant the names of God, like we have a mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I can do this throughout the day. So whenever I do this, it takes me back to my spiritual roots and makes me feel nothing is important in life except, understanding my relationship with God. Everything else is not very important. Everything is temporary, right? So I don't have to become too tensed about everything. So of course, a good diet, a healthy diet keeps you healthy. And exercise, walk a little. I have to do this. I'm not doing it. I have to do this. Free writing, Must do, guys. You all should have some medium to express your thoughts. Every day, take some time out. When you're going out for a coffee, sometimes go alone. That's okay. Think, and if you have a paper, just write down what you're going through. Or like I do these presentations. All these presentations, I make them when I get a thought, I just go and add a slide. That is how they are made, right? All your life's experiences and good things that you hear from others, you put them into a structured presentation, it becomes a topic, a seminar, right? You can do that, free writing or free making slides, whichever way you call it. Okay, so let's summarize where we started, where we landed, right? So we started with 21st century's biggest problem is mental problem. When you say mental problem, it's about uncontrolled emotions, anxiety, stress that we take. Mind, body, and soul are not working together. Balance is not there. Millions of types of fears are there, which is adding more thoughts that they should carry and not carry. Now here comes the solution, right? I mean, you have to choose the thoughts you want to let go. You have to choose the thoughts you want to keep. So unnecessary thoughts you have to let go. You can't carry a heavy head to the office, heavy head to the house. You have to carry a very light head. And light head should have only few things which are important and good for you. Remaining ones, you should have the courage to let them go. And how do you let them go? By gaining the willpower. What are the 4 things for gaining the willpower? Okay. Can somebody read it for me? What are these 4 things? I want you to read. I can just read. Can anybody read this 1, 2, 3, 4?
Positive thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Second one?
Negative thoughts, necessary thoughts, and wasteful thoughts.
No. I'm saying here, gaining the willpower. For to gain the willpower, there's 4 things that you need to have. We just discussed about it.
Yeah. Find positivity in everything that's happening.
Yes.
Nothing lasts forever, good and bad. Never stay alone. Mind is at its best to discredit us when we are alone. Your depend on the high power of God and be rest assured.
Yeah. So this is how you gain the willpower. See, we need willpower to do things, right? We know sometimes, most of the time, we know what is good and what is bad. We all know what is good and what is bad. You don't need a seminar like this. But what is lacking is the willpower to do it, isn't it? The willpower to actually execute it is what is lacking. And that comes when you do these 4 things. Willpower comes when you stay always positive. Willpower automatically increases. When you ignore things, thinking that they are not very, they are all temporary, that also helps your willpower stay. It doesn't get shaken up, anything that happens in life. And you never are alone. You're always surrounded by positive people and inspiring mentors. 4th one, you always depend on something higher, something that you can't do, that you wish to be done. You always depend on God, and He will take care of the last part. And 4 R's, where you have to execute positivity, is the role you play, routine you live, responsibility we carry in relationships. Everywhere you should show positiveness, and cautioning places of source of information. These are all the places from very good source of information, your friends, colleagues, parents, everybody. But be very careful what you're receiving. And finally, A, B, C, D, E of F of leading a good mental and physical health. Physical health, exercise, and that is mentally, you should have free writing. You should have a place to express, and you should spend some time for yourself. That's very important. Spending time for yourself, right? So I'll end it here. This was about the story of Sindhutai. We discussed today about how she dealt with revenges, how she converted that positively, right? Revenge into a positive thought. Okay, so I humbly request everybody just on your screen for the last 1 minute and share what you felt about this presentation that we went through in the last 2 weeks. That there is something beyond physical fitness, which is mental fitness, right? So any reflections? Let's have some reflections. And okay, I can see that some of you are leaving already, so I'm sure you have other things to do. So thank you very much. take these advices, try to implement them, and stay positive. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lakshman.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lakshman.
Thank you.